Hey everybody, welcome to the GI Live Show. It's 4:30, February 17th, 2015. Now, first we're going to go over some promos, but yeah, why don't we do that right now since I already said it. All right, so first of all, sorry, unacceptable. We still got our 25% off coupon code. That's 2015, 2015 for short. That's off select items. We also have our Golden Rams, our Operation Golden Rams sale. It's going to be happening at our West Coast, our California store. We got 25% off select items. The first 100 customers in line will get GI Bucks or the chance of winning a gun. I can say like how many guns there are, right?
Yeah, we're giving away 3 guns. The first 100 customers will have a chance. So 97 of those customers are going to win GI Bucks.
Mhm.
And those GI Bucks, you can win $5, $10, $20, $100, or you can be one of those lucky 3 to get a brand new spanking gun, which is super dope. So you want to line up early, very early.
Can we say how many $100 are in there?
No, I like to keep
Excellent.
things.
Yeah. So that's going to be cool because you're going to have a chance to win a free gun or just some free money for the first 100 people in line. Also, there's going to be map drop on select brands. So if you guys want a chance to get a discount on map brands, which is not normally ever possible except during special times of the year, this is that special time of the year. So make it out to the Golden Ram sale. Also, we're starting a new thing in all of our walk-in stores, our Texas, our Virginia, our California walk-in stores. We're going to have a team night every Wednesday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time. Now, what's cool is that you can go out there, find a team, find new players, check out new guns, new gear. It's a great way to build the community, and honestly, it's a way to build a sense of camaraderie between teams and players. It's just good to know more people in your local area you can go out and play airsoft with. Like, let's say, like for me, like a lot of times my friends in college just wouldn't want to or wouldn't be able to come out on certain nights, so I'd go out, and that's actually how I got on a team. So it's really good to meet new players, and also we have a special deal going on where if you buy 2, let's say 2 cans of green gas, 2 bags of BBs, or 2 CO2 cartridges, you're going to get the third one free. So it's also a great night to gear up every Wednesday at each one of our walk-in stores all across the country because we are the nation's largest airsoft chain store. Yes. On top of that, we've got some BB Wars events coming up. BB Wars Episode 1 is going to be Sunday, March 29th at D14 Airsoft in Sanger, Texas. And we're also having these smaller BB Wars events across the country, the first one of which is in Virginia. It's called BB Wars Battlefront Virginia Recon, and that's going to be Sunday, March 22nd at X Zone in Chesterfield, Virginia. Also, some more interesting news. We've got the KWA CQRs back in stock, which is one of the best guns under $200 specifically for CQB. We've both had a lot of experience firing those. They are really fun and a really great deal.
Yeah, I would actually go as far as saying is it's one of the best guns internally that you can get for under $200. The TGX gearbox in those CQRs are astounding. Those things work so well, so definitely a great deal. So those are back in stock. There's a couple package deals for those too as well if you guys want to check those out. But yeah, otherwise really good stuff.
Highly acceptable.
Yeah.
Now, we do have our topic for today, which is always kind of necessary on our shows. What is your dream gun?
Yes.
Now, we're going to go over a couple ideas for dream guns. In fact, I brought a photo of what's not only a dream gun, but a dream setup that I would love to have.
I didn't know you printed that out. That's so great. Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
So in addition to talking about what is your dream gun, we'd love to hear your statements on what would be a dream gun for you. So if you guys have any of those, throw out your favorite gun or your dream gun in the comments right now. We'll try and get to them later. And we're also going to go over the guns that we've had made by the tech department for BB Wars.
Yes.
Now, do you mind if I start with a photo?
No, start. You have to start.
Okay,
that's
so
amazing.
I saw this, and this really spoke to me as far as what is my dream gun. So check this out. I hope you can see this. We saw this on what's that called? Facebook, I believe. Now, if you can't tell, he's got 4 P90s. I believe this is the classic Army P90 with a rail kit on front. Each one of those P90s has box mags, and it looks like he's got a Polar Star setup linked to each one of them, but we couldn't exactly tell. It could be electrical power, but it looks kind of like a Polar Star. And on his back, he's got 2 M240 Bravos with box mags. Assumedly, those would flip down over his shoulder, and he's even got an entire rig that helps him carry it, but it looks really heavy, and I definitely want to be on that guy's team for an airsoft battle. So I know that, you can't really see it from there. So
if you guys want to check this out, the photo credit goes, we found it from, it was another Airsoft Facebook page called Airsoft BBs, and then we shared it on our main Facebook page as well. But you guys can find our shared post and then find the original post, and they actually have a bunch of photos with like the M2. You said there were 240 Bravos, correct?
Yeah.
Pointed down, which looks awesome. It's like a walking mech in airsoft form. So I think that somebody had a vision for that. This guy had a vision of what he wanted to build, and just blew me and a lot of us here at Airsoft GI away at how that turned out. That is really really awesome. But I think that goes back to the big question: is Bob, what is your dream gun?
Wait, before I answer
Oh,
that,
okay.
this reminds me of the setup from, was it Tom Cruise movie?
Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of
There was a lot of
Tomorrow,
comments
yeah,
on the Facebook.
yeah.
I love that movie. That was one of my favorite movies
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, absolutely. It was really dope.
I should just saw it for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
And
it was really good.
we could just talk about that for the next 30 minutes. I'm okay with that. Just no, no, I love that movie.
Yeah.
That was really, really great. But yeah, back to Dream Gun. Bob, what would you say your dream BB gun is? And I think we should divide it into two different scenarios. Of one fantasy, let's say any video game or movie or sci-fi. Okay, because that's a fun topic.
Yeah.
And then one maybe a little bit more realistic that you can build in today's airsoft world with the parts that are out on the market today.
Okay.
So take your break. Which one do you think you want to answer first?
All right. Well, I'm going to go with the sci-fi one first because my sci-fi gun that I always wanted to have is I'd want to take an ERG and I'd like to make a Space Marine bolter.
Ooh, okay.
So like basically a bolter it's from Warhammer 40,000, this tabletop awesome game that I play a lot. It's a gun with no stock with basically it looks kind of like a Surefire Fat Mag, but it holds .75 caliber rounds that about a quarter second after they hit something they detonate. So the gun's really big, a huge round, so which is why I want the ERG, so it has the recoil, but it just looks awesome and oversized, and it just hits me right in my nerd feels. However, also another sci-fi thing I want to do is that it's not a wheelchair, it's like a tank chair that we see at SHOT Show. It's like a chair that has treads on it.
Oh yes, yeah. Okay.
I want one of those, and I want to put either a minigun or dual 240 Bravos on there with a gun shield, and maybe put skids on the back so players could ride it. So it'd be not only like a gun truck, but also like some people could hop on and be like, yeah. So right off the top of my head, that's my fantasy dream gun. So I want to hear your thoughts too, because I don't want to talk the whole time.
For fantasy wise, I was blown away last week when Greg Wong came in. I'm a huge Halo fan, and especially the first Halo that came out. I love that assault rifle had 60 rounds, and you just prayed and prayed, and it was awesome.
Well, you mean in the game or in
the game?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And so, that assault rifle was really iconic for a long time, and it still is. I love that assault rifle. And then Greg Wong brought in a fully functional model of that assault rifle, and it was legit. It was so amazing. It wasn't just like this chassis over it. It had good weight, and all the lights and everything, and the counter actually worked and all that stuff. And it was a fully functioning airsoft gun from what he was saying, and I was just so impressed by that. So that was super dope.
Let me find the name of it. It's the MA5B.
Yes.
That's the name of the gun.
Yeah, which is really, really cool. If I'm going for sci-fi and fantasy, right now I'm very addicted to Evolve. I've been playing that like crazy. If anybody has a PS4, maybe throw in their name and I might add you guys. But there's a shotgun on the character I just got that's really dope. It's called a shotgun, but I almost feel like it shouldn't be, because if you shoot it fast enough, it acts as like a normal shotgun, and it shoots like spread, right? So you can hit multiple targets, right? But if you shoot slowly, it just automatically shoots almost like a slug shotgun, so you can shoot long range and accurate. So it's just like, oh, the monster's far away, bam, take your time, bam, take your time, and accurate shots. But if he's close, you just and it acts as a shotgun.
Now, this doesn't exist, but it sounds like it has some sort of reactive choke. Do you know what a choke is?
It's where the barrel goes wider, and
yeah, you can basically have a certain type of choke if you want to shoot medium range with a shotgun, or you can have a wide choke that'll disperse a lot.
Yeah.
Or you have what is illegal now. It's called the duckbill choke, which they use in Vietnam. That it actually makes an oval. So if
it spreads it out, right?
Yeah, if you're standing down a hallway, you get everyone in the hallway.
Oh gosh, that's nuts.
Yeah, it's cruel and unusual, I believe.
So I think, in theory, I would imagine that gun would use some kind of technology like that, but it's based purely on the rate of fire. So if I shoot faster, it acts as a CQB weapon, but if I shoot slower, I have more range and accuracy. Now, if I had something like that with airsoft, that would be great.
That would be really awesome, yeah.
Very much like cheating, I would feel.
Oh, well, a little bit.
But yeah, no, that would be super dope. I would love that.
There were two things that people mentioned on their dream gun I want to put out there. Boba Fett's blaster. I'm waiting for agreement from you. Okay, good work. Also, Han Solo's pistol, which would be pretty
Ooh,
cool.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I actually saw an airsoft version of the base gun for that came out. That Red Wolf Tim was talking
Mhm.
about, and did you see the rate of fire for it?
Yes, it was just like insanely fast. I don't know
Like
if they
44
clocked it
rounds a
or.
second
That's nuts. That's
on a
super
gas
crazy
gun.
gun.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
So let's see if there are any other. I was also thinking like the Mass Effect like main assault rifle would be pretty cool.
I played that game probably for like an hour or so. So I know, Bob, you're a huge fan, so I'm sorry to let you down on that.
You're a bad person.
We're going to go through some of the comments and just see some of the stuff that you guys were talking about in terms of guns. So I see Halo guns. Um, my dream gun is a revolver shooting 6 rounds per shot. That sounds interesting.
I mean, they do in the real world. They do make
Uh-huh.
shotgun rounds for revolvers. It screws up the barrel something awful, but it does work.
Awesome. Halo Magnum, that's a dope gun. From the first Halo, I love that.
Yeah.
Even the other ones are great. PDW 57 from Black Ops, pretty cool, pretty cool. Airsoft fart gun, like in Despicable Me.
Gosh, I still haven't seen Despicable Me,
Interesting.
so I
Oh,
really ought
that's
to go
great.
watch that.
Oh, Mr. Muncherman, you have PS4? Okay, I'm hitting you up, man.
Wow, that was loud.
Sorry, I got really excited because he's a hardcore fan. He's here all the time.
Indeed.
So shout out to you,
We've
buddy.
also got male reproductive organ man Jones, who's been here for a while, so it's good to see him back again. Bottomless mag, interesting.
Yeah,
That'd be kind of cool.
definitely. What do you think though about a gun that you can build in today's airsoft world? What would your dream gun be, Bob?
Gosh, that's a toughie.
While he thinks of that, I'm going to answer a question. Somebody's asking of when is the G&G Thunderhawk coming out, which is going to be their dual sector 30 BBs per second gun. There's no ETA on it, so we don't know at this time. But it is supposed to be this year, I believe.
Okay, I think I got one.
Okay.
So something we can build.
Mm-hmm.
If any of you ever seen the movie Aliens, it's called a smart gun, but it's essentially an MG 32, 34 on a Steadicam rig. That's so you can handle the machine gun really easily and move it around with almost no weight. I would want to get that Steadicam rig, hook it to a minigun, and then have a backpack full of ammo and gas and whatever else I need to power the minigun, and just run around with that. Because the miniguns I see on the field, they are kind of heavy, and some of them have either a box mag or another form of magazine. But if I could carry ammo and all the subsidiary things needing to run the gun with a Steadicam rig so that it wouldn't really weigh a whole lot, I feel like I could just rock and roll.
That would be really
Yeah.
cool. That would definitely be really cool. If I could build a gun, I've been really kind of obsessed with building like an LM4 gas back rifle for a few months now because Bob has one and then Bill built one recently over the last few months.
Right
So
there.
and we're going to show it to you guys in a second. And I'm like surrounded by gas back rifles, and I've been an AEG player for a very long time. And I feel like I need to branch out and kind of explore other aspects of airsoft. So right now I'd probably build like a really sick LM4. Or if I really wanted to branch out, probably the KWA AK-74 SU, because that's like the complete opposite of what I usually go for.
That's true, yeah.
Of number one, it's a gas blowback rifle, and number two, it's an AK. I have one AK right now, but I haven't used it in years, so that would be like really, really different. So that's more to challenge my airsoft abilities, which I think would be super cool.
I kind of want to, on a different subject, I kind of want to have like a gas blowback light machine gun.
That would be dope. Yeah, I think to do that, I would imagine it would almost have to be HPA, so it's consistent. I mean, because I imagine like going with green gas and you have a lot of rounds going through, the cooldown is going to get to you eventually.
Well, I figure like if like how like when they design the L4, they put a lot of design process into the mag as well. Like if they do that much work on like a box mag for a light machine gun and then maybe limited to 200, 250 rounds, it could be useful. At least it'll be somewhat real world.
That'd be I was saying that would be actually really realistic because a lot of LMGs carry around 100, 200 rounds, correct? Yeah, so that'd be really cool. I saw a good comment. Somebody said the Alien versus Predator shoulder-mounted targeting system
That'd
gun
be cool.
Yeah, that would be super cool. I definitely like that. PKM gas blowback with an open bolt. That would be dope. Just
that
watching
would be awesome.
Jump back and forth. That'd be really cool. So we wanted to show you guys some of the custom guns that we built and some of the other guys here in the marketing department have built and played with. So since we just mentioned it, why don't we pull out Bill's custom LM4? You want me to?
Yeah, can you handle that drink for a second?
Gotcha.
Just don't break it.
Don't break it. Got it. So this is going to be Bill's custom LM4. He's done a lot of work internally and externally do it. I believe This is the SR10 rail system, or very similar to it. So it's a pretty basic quad rail system, free float barrel in the front, replica EOTech in the back, LE stock. And I like what he did with the OD paracord. Pretty cool. He also did a lot of internal work to it as well. So I know it has the maple leaf hop-up bucking and tensioner, which is really great for the LM4s if you guys want to maximize consistency and range and accuracy too. So I know Bill loves this thing. He's been using it a lot. Oh, AFG at the bottom too.
He's a big fan of also the OD green and black look, which is, in my opinion, an underrepresented camo scheme. Most people that do two-tone do tan and black, but OD green and black really speaks to him, and he really goes with it pretty well. He's obviously painted his replica EOTech as well as the paracord adds to the look of this and the AFG and the grip. Also, he's got this, I believe it's called a bad lever. It's right on the bolt release right there. It helps him just function his entire gun with basically his index finger. So pretty cool setup, and definitely very intuitive and works well with him in particular. He's also got the Don't Tread on Me and the American flag, which I wholeheartedly approve of, although you should put the American flag on the other side, just me saying.
America.
America. Pretty cool gun. I'm a big fan of M4s. Obviously, you are. You want one as well. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is a really cool gun. I believe we have one of Mark's Scar, his G&G Scar that he actually recently just got engraved. I know he's had the Scar for a while and he's been working on it, but the engraving he actually got on this was pretty cool. And personally, I'm not a huge fan of the Scar. Like, I just don't favor the ergonomics, but this is actually one that I felt was pretty comfortable that I might consider playing with.
I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, so that's a pretty sick yin and yang engraving, and on the left we have another engraving that he just got customized too. So one of the things I love about Airsoft is the amount of customization you can do, not only to your gun, but to your person and your kit and your gear. You know, everybody has their own little flair or, you know, little way to deck it out or make it their own. You know, it's almost art in their own way if you want to take it that far. That, you know, no two kits are alike, no two players are alike. You know, somebody might like this color scheme or this loadout, or, you know, like the rail panel covers on the side. You know, that's not necessary, but it looks cool, you know.
Well, I mean, it's not necessary, but it definitely. Oh, you mean these?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think it adds for the coolness factor.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely have a few for myself. I mean, the Scars are, in my opinion, are pretty fun. I mean, they were designed to be a little bit more ergonomic. I mean, for most people, it's a much different design than used for, but does have a lot of functional value, in my opinion. So, really cool gun. Curious to see when he's going to take this out because, you know, obviously he techs on his guns pretty well.
Yes, and they shoot very slow. He makes them shoot as slow as possible.
You guys always say that joke. I don't think it's as funny as you guys think it is.
I think it's funny. I think it's hilarious because Mark's guns shoot ridiculous. This gun probably shoots like, I would guess, 40 BBs a second at least, 40, 50 around there. Knowing Mark?
Yeah,
I don't know. That's just ballpark.
Actually, I'm just going to tell him the story because I actually do like telling this. The first time I met Mark, I was at Taxi South. Daniel was there, and Mark's a good friend of Daniel, now my friend right now, since we've been working together for so long. I met him that night, and I've been, you know, playing with gas blowback guns for a while, having totally neglected any AGs I had. And he's like, hey, why don't you try out this gun? I was kind of remarking on it, the Surefire fat mag he had on it, high capacity mag, and he had it souped up. I don't know how many BBs per second, like 30 or 28 or something. And it had been so long since I held a gun that was an AG, and it was so light, such a high rate of fire, and so much ammo. I was literally running back and forth across Taxi South going, because I even told him in my head I had the song from Aladdin, A Whole New World, played because I was so out of the action as far as like shooting AGs that it was just felt so liberating. So yeah, cheers to Mark and his teching ability, and also for being nice and generous and letting me use his gun. So
that was the same night that you brought your tactical stool, right? I
generally always bring the tactical stool to Tax City South.
Yeah.
I found a stool at Bed Bath & Beyond because I like going looking there for, they have just a lot of trinkets and candy. So I found a collapsible stool, and I asked the folks at Taxi South if I could use it, and they were fine as long as I carried it on my person. So I'd sling it in my camelback, go up to a wall, and I could actually go over the top and hit people with a shotgun, and they almost never look up at Tax City. So it was very effective and very useful.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I was impressed when you brought it. I was like, oh, that's genius. You know, why didn't I think of that?
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, really cool. So, Bob, I know you have an AK that you put a lot of time and effort and work into building that you guys might see a lot more. Hopefully you're not on the receiving end, but maybe you will be.
Yeah, I totally put a lot of time and effort into building it myself because I'm so well known as a tech. I can't say that. No, Aaron from the GI Tech Department, the head of the GI Tech Department, put a lot of work in his own building this. So if you wouldn't mind grabbing it.
Oh, yeah.
Right over there. No worries. Okay, so we've got our gun builds list for this. Here we go. Now I've also taken advantage of the fact that M-Lock rails and rail accessories have come out recently. So I've got an M-Lock rail kit in the front of this, but the base gun for this is an LCT, or excuse me, not an LCT, an E&L body with an LCT front end, and I use the LCT front end so that I'd have the option of attaching tracers or barrel extension. For me, the biggest thing in my mind was I wanted to be able to use a tracer because of how much fun they can be. But that said, I really like the Enel AK bodies just because they're so rugged and tough. When I used it up at Fort Ord, the Fort Ord firefight, I knew how tough they were, and I kind of put it to the test by not giving a crap on like what I bumped into. So I would like run up to buildings and use the gun to brace myself, or like just kind of slow me down, or I'd let it hang and sometimes it'd drag on the ground. I just checked to see how it was working. I was really kind of putting it through as much testing as I could while I had it there, and it survived everything. So I really got to hand it to Jag Precision for pushing this out. The Enel AK is a really great setup, especially if you're looking for realism in an AK build. But why don't I at least go over what has been done to this? So on my AK, we've got an LCT, put it over here, an LCT front barrel assembly, fit and installed 105 style gas block. We've got a Midwest Industries M-Lock rail. This has been rewired to the rear. They corrected the angle of engagement. They got Siege Tech balance gears, Magic Box, clear palm piston, Magic Box double O-ring piston head, Magic Box 3/4 cylinder, Magic Box version 3 cylinder head, Magic Box low res wires, modified 120 spring, Tinley GT 40,000 short motor, Lonex version 3 spring guide, 365 millimeter Miracle barrel, Mad Bull blue bucking, Pro Win AK hop up. Now, I gave Aaron Moore from the tech department some very general instructions of what I wanted to do with this gun. I wanted to have, a moderate rate of fire, like around 20 to 22 rounds per second, so I wouldn't dump a whole mag, quickly like Mark. But I also wanted to have range and accuracy in this build because I generally find myself shooting from medium to long ranges. But I wanted also to have like a short enough build to where if I wanted to go building to building, I could. So yeah, I mean, he really did a good job on this. I cannot wait to take this out. It's going to be so much fun. And yeah, also we also have an AK Palm style pistol grip and an AK Palm mag here that was generously lent to me by Spartan 117 GW, Greg Wong. I really think it completes the two-tone look of the gun. The only other things I'm going to add on here are I'm going to install a flashlight with the pressure switch depending on where I'm going to be. I don't generally run optics because I usually wear a face mask, which kind of precludes me from being able to aim down the sights. However, I'm probably going to change that in a few months when I get a helmet, goggle, and face mask setup. So yeah, that's going to do it for my at least custom gun for the first BB Wars game and a few follow-up games. But I'm really excited for this. Why don't we take a look at your gun?
Yeah, absolutely. And I really like the black tan look because that's going to go with your side of the tan team and the tan camouflage. This is my gun. It's still a work in progress. When the techs here at GI first got the G4 M-Lock rail, I was amazed by it. It's a really great rail system. And then they started making the G4 M-Lock guns. And so what I was really inspired by is the G4 M-Lock Blitz. So what I kind of replicated is the 13-inch rail system and then the KX3 here at the end to try to make it look really clean and aggressive. And then we got the M-Lock rail covers that are the same as Bob's, but these are going to be an OD instead. So I have a few more that I'm going to throw on, and then I'm probably going to do a similar crisscross pattern. So it's like OD in black. Pressure switch, and this is going to be actually a Lancer tactical flashlight, Magpul iron sights, and then the stock in the back. This is the Magpul SL stock, but the base gun for this guy is going to be an FMG4, so it is all metal. And then Aaron has done a crazy amount of stuff. So let me go through some of my guns really quick. So I talked about the G4. It's a 10.5-inch barrel, KX3. He fixed the AOE. We have Siege Tech balanced gear set, Magic Box 8mm bearings, Magic Box clear palm piston, Lonex version 2 cylinder head, Magic Box double O-ring piston head, Magic Box 3/4 cylinder, Modify 120 spring, and Magic Box low resistance wiring. We also have a 365 Miracle barrel and a Mad Bull blue bucking. So this gun was designed to be super reliable, but also have a pretty decent rate of fire and be really accurate. I'm very much a stickler for accuracy. I want it to be consistent in shooting far. So that's kind of what he's going for. So I would say at this point it's probably like 70% done. But it's amazing. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. It's rock solid too, the stock and everything. And then
What was the name of your stock? I didn't hear you mention that.
it's the Magpul SL stock. It's slimline stock. So the cool thing about this stock is with a lot of retractable stocks is they might wobble. There's actually some tensioners on the inside that press against the buffer tube. So this is just like a normal 5-position stock, but because of those tensioners, there's no wobble at all. So I really like that. So
yeah, you basically were talking enough game on that I had to get one for the AK, which is what I put on there. So.
Yeah, which is really, really dope. Oh, and on top, I really like the Manta rail covers that they actually use in the United States Marine Corps with the M27 IARs. So this is dope because it provides wire management. There's actually a slot on the side for you to put the wires, and then this, of course, is going to be for the pressure switch. So yeah, I'm really happy with how this is coming out. So this is going to be my my commanding gun at D14 and during the BB Wars. So it's going to be Tan versus OD out there. It should be a lot of fun.
I really like how tight the setup is because you have, what they call, I believe, hidden the pig on the KX3 flash hider, but you also have the flashlight far forward, but just a little bit back from that compensator. But you also have, what's that rail mount that's in between the M-Lock rails?
So I really like the 45-degree style mount, but what I saw with a lot of 45-degree mounts is you put it on a Picatinny rail or you mount it directly to the M-Lock, but then even so it sticks out probably another inch or so, which isn't bad or anything, but I was trying to make it as tight as possible. So what I found is this is an Arsaka inline mount. I think I got that name correct.
Arisaka? Or?
Arisaka, I believe it was something like that.
Yeah.
And it mounts directly to M-Lock, and then with the G4 M-Lock, the slots at the 45-degree angle actually are M-Lock spec. So instead of mounting that inline mount directly to the 90-degree mount, I just put it at the 45. And because of the design of this rail, it actually tucks in perfectly. And like I love how close that is to the barrel. Like I don't know if you can get it any closer than that. And so everything's just really, really, really tight. So I feel with this gun I can be pretty rough with it. I don't have to worry about wires getting tangled up. I got a flashlight in there. It was so tight I put this gun in the original gun box and the flashlight did not block like the packaging or anything.
Really?
That's how tight it was. Yeah,
that's just awesome.
Yeah. Now obviously with the grip it's going to change things a little bit, but yeah, no, it was super dope. So yeah. Pretty
I really do like how the M-Lock vertical grips fit in there really well too. They're very solid.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Let's see. I think we're getting to new products pretty soon. But let us know what you guys think. What is your dream gun? What would you guys love to have, either in the realistic sense of what you could build today or a fantasy gun? We saw some pretty good answers so far, but we'll take a second and try to look at some of the comments.
We had someone having some issues with an Elite Force CQB. Viscafuse Rocket Guy, if you're having issues like that, I highly suggest calling our customer service department because generally they can walk you through those issues or what you can do to get them fixed. So go to airsoftgi.com, check out that customer service phone number, and give them a call. I believe they're open between 9 to 5 on business days, so Monday through Friday. So yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so we do got some, whoops.
Man down.
We got some new products we do want to show you guys, so we'll jump into that, and then we'll go back to your comments. So first up, I believe this is going to be, yes, this is the new Echo One Platinum Edition M4 in gray. These are going to be OEM'd by VFC. So this version here is going to be a normal carbine length, 14.5-inch barrel, and then you kind of have your standard quad rail. Let me get the pricing on this one. So it's not up on the website, but it's going to be coming very soon. This one is going to retail for about $325 map, and so I really like this gray. I know there's a lot of fans out there for like the urban gray. For people that have that loadout, these guns would be perfect for it. Bob, what do you think?
I mean, I really like Echo One Platinum.
I did.
I really like Echo One Platinums because right out of the box they're really solid guns, and internally and externally, and that's a big factor for me. Is I like having guns that right out of the box, I don't really have to worry about them. Which is why our tech department uses these guns, Echo One Platinums in general, as base guns for a lot of different custom builds that we roll out on AirsoftGI.com. But honestly, like when I first saw this, I believe it's Urban Gray.
I'm not sure if the actual name is Urban Gray. I know it's Gray for sure. It might
Okay.
be Urban Gray. But like I said, the details are coming very soon to our website.
When I first saw it, it was different enough that it piqued my interest. And as I got closer, I really like this color scheme. It's just a little different to stand out, but not enough difference to make it look bad. I really do like this color, so I hope they stick with it for a while. And yeah, it definitely fits those folks who are going to wear like not Ranger Gray because that's more of a green, but
I think Urban Gray and I think
Wolf
Wolf
Gray.
Gray is
Yeah, all
yeah.
those different new gray camos that
Mhm.
will work well with this gun. So yeah. So yeah, this one is, like you said, is map priced at 325. The M4 carbine, which is what you're holding right there,
Mhm.
is map priced at 285.
Yeah, and these are absolutely amazing guns. Once again, OEM to buy VFC, so you really can't go wrong with that. The next gun I have coming up is actually something that I was pretty astounded, especially when I found out the price. So this is a new gun from Apex. This is their new Apex Bravo 9.5-inch wrist. It's an all-metal gun from Apex with an all-metal rail system as well. I believe it is free float, flip up and down iron sights, crane stock. So yeah, I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen stuff like this before, but the thing is, this thing retails for 190 bucks, which is crazy in my mind because an all metal gun with an all metal rail system for 190 bucks. And it's an Apex. We both used Apex a lot over the last year or so, and I've been very happy with the performance. So yeah, I think this is going to be a great gun if you're getting into airsoft or you want to just a solid gun overall. Your budget's like $200 or less. This one is available on our website. It just went up a little while ago. But this one's pretty good. I see people keep saying wink. Are you just winking?
I've already winked about 3 times.
Yeah, I got
I want to throw out a hi to Betsy. What's up, Betsy? You're
Hi,
watching
Betsy.
again. Matthew Morgan always lets us know when he's watching with his grandma, so it's nice to see you again. Yeah, thanks for watching.
Got it. So those are a lot of the new products that we have, but we'll open it up to questions.
Blah 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 blah. We got some.
Oh, yeah, that,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That
That's
was
embarrassing.
fail.
Fail.
Fail well.
Immediate fail. Immediate fail.
Portal gun. Somebody said portal gun.
Portal gun.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really fun to have, especially if it was, what's it called, functional. Someone actually asked earlier about having a taser in airsoft. Now, I wasn't sure if they meant like having a taser that's functional like an airsoft gun or actually bringing a legitimate taser out. I would not bring a legitimate taser out. The only way I could see that working or even being on an airsoft field is if you were doing like a law enforcement setup and you just had the taser on there for looks and you remove the cartridge, because I would not be a happy camper if like an airsoft game didn't go well and then I got tased in the middle of the field and the kid was like, haha, it's a real taser. No, it's not funny. Don't bring that out.
No,
So,
not cool.
anyway, so back to this. This is really cool.
So this guy.
Uh-oh. Yeah. There you
Oh, sorry, I thought you were trying to hold that. This is a new holster and a new pistol mount that we are considering carrying. What's really interesting about it is that the holster actually clips not into the pistol, but it's going to clip into this mount that you're going to attach to the bottom of the pistol, the Picatinny rail, which a lot of pistols have. So the idea is going to be that you can mount this to a lot of different types of pistols, but then you can still mount whatever pistol that you put in it into this holster. So let us know what you guys think of this idea. On top, of course, you have another Picatinny rail, and at the bottom, if you want to add more accessories. So in terms of functionality, it's really great because you can now holster your gun, have a red dot, and have a flashlight, or maybe not flashlight because that's going to go down at the bottom, but you can have a red dot on top, which is something that I'm seeing a lot more, especially with the F and X and Glocks and a lot of other guns having red dots and RMRs on top of them. What's the other gun I keep thinking of? The Smith & Wesson M&Ps. I see a lot of those with the RMRs on top. They look awesome. So let us know what you guys think of something like this. Is this something you guys would want to see us carry? But otherwise, I think it's a really cool concept and a good solution to being able to mount a red dot on your gun and still be able to holster it at the same time.
And I guess just to be clear, like you essentially have to have this mount and this holster for this setup to work. They don't work by themselves. But I mean, like you said earlier, with this rail mounted red dot, it essentially turns this holster into a universal holster. You just need something with a rail and this mount on it. In my personal opinion, I believe Josh from our department mentioned this earlier, and I completely agree with him, that this would be a great setup for Tac City or another like CQB airsoft field because some of them have pistol nights, but generally those fields it's almost an advantage running a pistol, and with a red dot sight on it, it'd be a lot more fun in my opinion. I've seen a lot of race pistols for airsoft, and I've always wanted to see people take those pistols out for like a CQB course because I feel like if you're doing the race gun shoot anyway, it'd be easy to just use that pistol transfer over and probably be really effective in CQB, but I haven't seen a lot of people do it yet. So that would be one way to get into that with this setup. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I haven't got a pistol night in a long time. I used to go all the time with my high kappa, and I loved that. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was fun. I actually like going to pistol night because I would just rock my shotgun or they would let me usually use my MP9 if I kept it on semi since it was a machine pistol, but they just didn't want me rocking full auto.
Gotcha, that makes sense.
And with 50 rounds in the mag, it was awesome.
So I also saw Mr. Muncherman. You had a good comment. You said the Buzzsaw from Far Cry 4. I'm also very addicted to that game. I'm at 58% right now. I'm trying to 100% it, but that's going to take forever.
Yeah, I'm at like 32.
Okay, here's a comment from Hellcat. Daniel and Bob, my dream gun would be putting an M60's internals into a shell of a Nerf gun and getting an awesome custom paint job, and I also want to get Dean's connections. So it's almost like a sleeper gun. It's a airsoft gun, or it's a Nerf gun, but inside is it's going to wreck.
And just get one of those, the Vulcan machine gun that Nerf makes. It basically has, what are they called? A belt mag.
Belt-fed?
It's belt-fed Nerf gun,
Okay.
but it looks like a futuristic M249. So that would be a perfect setup for that. It comes with a box mag.
That would be really cool.
It's also got a handle like this. You hold it like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So here's a question from Joe Keenley. Does the Texas store do tech work? We are working on trying to get a tech there, hopefully in the near future. Whenever we open up a new store, that's one of the most common questions. So we are working on it, but I don't have an ETA at the time. Husky Craft is asking, what do you think of the new PTWs, the American PTWs, I'm assuming, and when will you be selling them? I don't have an ETA at this time, but the PTWs are amazing. They are super, super cool, especially the Battle Arms one, which is just, it is a PTW, but it's another variant that is extremely lightweight. I remember when you told me to hold that shot, I was like, what is this? That doesn't make sense.
I wanted to see your face when you picked it up, yeah.
Yeah, what are your thoughts on the American PTWs?
I think the most surprising thing for me was how lightweight it was. I mean, obviously there's a lot of features packed into that gun. So yeah, I mean, if I had all of that money, I would definitely want one because it's got a lot of stuff you won't normally see on a regular AEG. However, it's just every time I see one of those PTWs, the price is really high. But if you can afford it, damn good gun. Gosh, it'd be so awesome to have that.
Yeah. So here's a couple questions for you, Bob. Chris Newton is saying, hey, Bob, I'm looking at getting a JG AUG military. Thoughts on the gun and what are the upgrades, or what upgrades would you recommend?
Oh, shoot, that's a tough one because, I haven't used an AUG in many, many years. My friend used to have one that he let me borrow consistently. I would suggest against getting a rail kit for it. Most of the rail kits I've seen for the AUGs make the gun very, very front heavy. So I would say try and figure out something you'd be okay with without using a rail kit, just because without that, a lot of the weight is in the back of the gun and it makes it an incredibly maneuverable gun. As far as upgrades, the first thing I would do is maybe either upgrade the motor or more specifically get a Miracle Barrel for it. It's already a bullpup gun, so you can have a longer barrel anyway, but with that Miracle Barrel, your accuracy is going to be amazing. I generally don't upgrade my guns a whole lot, so yeah, maybe barrel, motor, and hop up. But other than that, yeah, I think that'd be a really fun gun to get.
Here's an interesting dream gun from Blue Devil Gaming 0219. What would you think, Bob, of a KMP9 in AEG or AEP form with a high torque motor and 2GX gearbox? Essentially an electric gun instead of a gas gun. I think that's pretty cool. I would definitely consider using something like that. But what do you think, considering you're the big KMP9 guy?
I would like to play with that, but just because I'm a gas blowback guy, I'd probably be a little disappointed because it's not a gas blowback. However, a good fellow I've met a number of times, Chino, who plays a game pod a lot, he's been rolling with a lot of different AEPs that have high rates of fire, and after seeing him do that, kind of want to try that. So KMP9 AEP would be really fun.
Nice.
Good rate of fire. Definitely want to get a high capacity mag just for fun. Throw a tracer unit on the front and have a good old god darn day of airsoft.
Awesome. All right, next question from Gameplay. What do you think of the Crytek LMG Enhanced? I'm buying it. It's awesome.
Yeah, his reaction when he first saw it was priceless because you immediately went from like just standing there to be like, okay, do I buy the rail kit and put it on this, or do I sell the other gun and buy this one? Or no, maybe I'll just buy this one. Have two. What do I do, Tim? What do I do?
It was just like immediately from like I didn't know that this thing existed and it wasn't in my life and it wasn't in my knowledge bank at all. And then all of a sudden it was like I'm getting it. It went from like it didn't exist to I'm getting it immediately. And then the next thing was like, what are the steps I'm doing to get it? Do I buy
Yep.
another one or just upgrade my current one? So I'm very excited about it. Can't figure that out. So yeah, I'm super stoked for that. That's gonna be really, really great. Nick Cooper, you've asked this a couple times. Hey, Dan and Bob, what's your favorite type of scopes or red dot? Which ones are your personal favorites?
I kind of like the Micro T1 with a riser just because with that mount I can actually see behind it with my face mask on. Also, those micro red dots, they don't take up that much space on the gun, so you can actually see around and have situational awareness pretty well using those micro red dots. And obviously you still have the red dot functionality. So I prefer those over regular aim points. EOTechs are really cool, mainly just because they look awesome, but they do block a lot of the vision for me. However, if I could have any scope, not just a red dot, what is the name of the scope that Walter has on his gun?
It's your Trigicon. I don't know the exact name.
Yeah, I wish I could have that if only it wasn't $800 or more dollars.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's probably that would be my favorite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just a Micro T1. What about you?
I like the Micro T1 a lot. I have one that I absolutely love. In terms of magnified scope train, in terms of magnified scopes, I really like some of the variable zoom scopes. I know Mark has like an Aim Sports one that works pretty cool, or the Vism ones are very nice. They are more expensive, but essentially these scopes will zoom in ×4, or you can change it to a lower power to like a 1.1, so it's almost like a red dot. But some of them have very clear sight pictures and make it really easy to identify your target quickly. So those are cool. If not, I have one of my favorite Leapers UTG scope that actually wasn't like super expensive. It was like $30 or $40, but the eye relief on it and the sight picture was very, very, very clear. So I like that too. Oh, there's a fun one. Aaron is saying, how about a shell ejecting AA-12?
I was just going to go there because when we're talking about what would be our dream gun, both the categories laid out, I was thinking about the AA-12, but obviously no one's made one yet. If I could have probably any gun, I've always loved shotguns. I've grown up with shotguns ever since I was 10 years old, real ones. When the AA-12 came out, which is a fully auto polymer shotgun, I was just swept off my feet. I really want the real one, and I want one for Airsoft. However, I believe Aaron Boyne, he's asking about a shell ejecting shotgun. I would suggest not having a shell ejecting AA-12 because it is a little difficult to go back and pick up those shells. But man, just a full auto shotgun would be so awesome.
Yeah, that would be really, really cool.
So cool.
This is from Triple Toss. I'm butchering that name. Question is, hey Bob, what do you think your favorite CQB weapon is? He's gonna get a CQB SMG. Suggestions, please.
It's tough. I'm gonna have to go with my top two. My favorite one right now is the KMP9. I've been loving that for a while. It's a great gun because usually it's between the MP9 and the MP7, or for some the P90. Now the MP9 is, in my opinion, has a couple advantages over the MP7 because one, it's more affordable. Two, the center of weight, center of gravity on the gun is more centered on the pistol grip. So when you unfold the stock, it's very easy just to use it with one hand, which is an advantage for me, so I can carry the axe or grenade or something else in my left hand and still aim accurately and get a fire suppression on target. However, I love shotguns, so shotguns are actually a really affordable way to change up your game, especially for CQB. Spring shotguns are very affordable. And also, obviously you don't need batteries or gas, you just need shells. Also, I would highly suggest, if you're looking for CQB, getting the Tokyo Marui M870 gas shotgun. That's been one of my recent huge favorites, and I highly suggest it. But otherwise, check out the KMP9. It's a great gun.
I don't like getting shot by that shotgun. It's not fun.
Well, that's because the M870 gas shotgun, what for me is new and interesting about it, and you obviously know because you've been shot by it, is that you can switch from like three 3 BBs per shot to 6 BBs per shot on the fly. So, your normal shotgun shell holds 30 rounds, and with 6 BBs per shot, it's 5 shots. With 3 BBs per shot, it's 10 shots. But, it gives you better spread with 6 shots.
Yeah.
But what about you, Daniel?
I'm sorry. Repeat the question one more time. Just I was trying to read a bunch of
It
this
was
at the
like,
same time.
I believe, what was a good starter
Oh,
gun
the
for CQB?
For CQB gun, my first AEG ever was the Tokimori P90. I still have it today, and I love it. It's a great gun. I haven't used it in a long time just because I've cycled through a lot of different guns. But for CQB, when I first started playing, I played at Airsoft Playground, which is now Tac City, and that's very CQB environment. So I was just trying to find the best CQB gun possible. And when I did research, I fell in love with the P90 just because of the small design, but yeah, I still had range and accuracy. So that would be my recommendation.
Someone actually mentioned, I believe it was Freestyle. I mentioned that this is kind of off topic, his dream gun would be an airsoft flamethrower.
Yeah.
And I just want to mention that because I actually saw an airsoft flamethrower the first time I went to Operation Irene. Some gentleman was on top of a building, and his buddy, who's carrying BBs for him, was also rocking a spotlight. And anyone who came through this train yard would get hit by the airsoft flamethrower. It essentially looked like a fire hose, and the whole backpack was BBs in air. So yeah, it was just basically a giant leaf blower.
Awesome. Wow. I would not want to be on the other side of that.
No.
Or your shotgun again.
No.
No more. All right, guys. I think we're out of time. That was our live show for February 17th. Thank you very much. Join us next Tuesday at 4:30 Pacific Standard Time for another live show. Same time, same place. Otherwise, guys, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.